toxic masculinity.
Come here. Come here.
You want to just ignore me and talk to the
Yes,
cat for the
come
rest
here.
of the show? Okay.
here.
Darling,
Yes.
next story.
GOP caves on Democrats' investigation of Capitol protest.
Yeah, so this is kind of frustrating. So apparently we're going into a massive investigation of the Capitol protest so that we can make sure that we know exactly what happened that encouraged people to casually walk through the Capitol building. It's ridiculous. Republicans on the House Homeland Security Committee have caved to Democrats' demands for a 9/11 style commission to investigate the January 6th Capitol riot. I bet that'll cost no money at all. And by no money at all, I mean millions and millions of taxpayer dollars. Hello, Aston. Let's see here. GOP Representative John Katko, the ranking member on the committee, led negotiations with the Democrats to reach consensus about the commission. His support for the commission is being marketed by the corporate media as bipartisan support. The New York representative is one of the few Republicans in the House who voted to impeach former President Donald Trump the second time Democrats targeted him. So Katko essentially needs to go. If you are a voter in New York, please vote out this piece of garbage. He also blames Trump for causing the insurrection at the Capitol. So yeah, he's somebody like Liz Cheney who just need to be voted out of office. By deliberately promoting the baseless theories suggesting that the election was somehow stolen, the president created a combustible environment of disinformation, disenfranchisement, and division. Aston, you want to say hi to the fans? Okay. Yeah, I don't understand why Liz Cheney... You want to come over here? I don't understand why Liz Cheney or this guy or other Republicans are perfectly willing to accept that the election was perfectly fair. I think that there might be some kind of... You really want to get on camera today, don't you? All right, come on. Yep. There you go. Ooh, I think that there's some the sort of perception that Americans are going to, I don't know, if we lose faith in our democracy or something like that, then it's going to wreak havoc on the whole system. Like somehow America's going to collapse if Americans stop having total faith in our election system. But the problem with that is that, yeah, okay, maybe there will be some kind of an issue if people stop having faith in the election system. But if the election system actually is broken, if there are actual fraud involved, if there is actual cheating involved, then it doesn't matter what the American people believe. The American people, our whole system of government is collapsing. It doesn't really matter what the American people think. We're not going to hasten the collapse if fraud actually exists. If we lose faith in our election system irrationally, if there was no fraud, then okay, I can understand what they're saying. But for them to just assume that there was no fraud despite all of the red flags, to me, they're just they're either lying or, and I think the reason why they would lie is because of this fear. But if there really is fraud, if there really is some kind of nastiness going on there, we have to figure that out. We can't just let that go. And not only are they just letting it go and they're perfectly willing to ignore the possibility of any kind of fraud, they're actively fighting against any thought, any speculation about that. And so to me, these people are enemies of the state. These people are actively trying to stop Americans from discussing the possibility of perhaps the election was fraudulent, which I think we must be able to talk about. We must be able to speculate about if we're going to have a healthy democracy or a healthy, representative republic or whatever the hell you want to call it. A lot of people get mad when you say democracy. We call these people pedants. Do not get mad when somebody says democracy. It is stupid. Everybody knows what we're talking about. I get mad when people get mad about that. All right, let's see here. Baseless theories, he calls it. When this manifested in violent acts on January 6th, no, it didn't. He refused to promptly and forcefully call it off, putting countless lives in danger, Katko said. What is up with these never-Trumper degenerates? I mean, this guy is... what he's saying here is delusional. Nothing Trump said encouraged any kind of violence. All right, there were protesters who casually walked through the Capitol. Yeah, there was some pushing and shoving. Nobody got really hurt. Nobody died. Okay, there was a false account of one police officer dying, but it was false. You can move past it, Catco, you piece of garbage. I really hate this guy. I hate this guy more than Democrats because this is the kind of a-hole that parades around as a Republican and then goes around and he tries to subvert the will of the people. The will of the people is investigate the election. We believe there was fraud. That's the will of the people. And this guy's saying, no, there isn't. And no, there isn't. Everything's fine here. Everything's fine. Don't look behind the curtain. Everything's fine. Like, what the hell are you defending Democrats for, you piece of trash? You're supposed to be a Republican. You're supposed to represent us.
Darling.
No, I will not shush. Oh, I hate this guy. I want to move to New York and run against him just to take that MFer out. Oh, I hate people like that. Pelosi previously proposed having an 11-member committee dominated by 7 Democrats, while Republicans would have only 4 members. House Homeland Security Committee Chairman Democrat Benny Thompson of Mississippi and Catco, however, decided a 10-person committee with equal partisanship is necessary to move forward. It is unclear at this point what kind of... Well, it doesn't matter if they're Republican if they're never Trumper Republicans. They're just rhinos. If they're just rhinos, it doesn't really matter if they're like Democrats or Republicans. They're basically all Democrats. It is unclear at this point what kind of members the GOP will place on the committee. Subpoenas will also be allowed as long as the chair and vice chair of the commission concur on majority of the commission votes to issue. There has been a growing consensus that the January 6th attack is of a complexity and national significance that we need is an independent investigation to investigate. Sorry, an independent commission to investigate, Thompson and Catco said in a joint statement. I don't care what these people say. They are human garbage, and they need to be voted out and replaced. Okay, darling, the last story of the day. Go.
Finally.
Hey. Show some respect to the show and to the fans.
It's not about the show and fans. It's about how many stories we have and how little time
That's
we have.
fine. They're good. They're all good stories. Go.
Report finds Democrats' election bill funded by dark money with foreign backer.
Yeah, this is really interesting. So I didn't actually get a chance to look at this story, but I was so intrigued by the headline. I wanted to go ahead and go through with this and read it. Toxic Masculinity. Weekdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.